Okay, please use this to check your homework decimal 2 answer. And the first one is using base 10 block to add decimal number. Make sure you define your units. I need to be able to see your top number with the base 10 block, second number with the base 10 block, and you should show your exchange very clearly, and your answer with the picture also. Alright, the second one, and pause the video if you want to double check your picture and the number are correct. It's base 10 block subtractions. Again, you need to define your units and show your exchange very clearly. Make sure I can see the top number and the bottom number and the answer number. Okay, alright, so the next one is changing them to be decimal to fractions. So the key is like I have 3 decimal places, mean is like in the thousands, like 10, 100,000, right? So 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have 5 zeros here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 4 zeros in the denominator, right? So that's the key. If you can reduce them, make sure you reduce them. Okay, the next one is for scientific notation. So this is a big number bigger than 1, so I know I'm going to have a positive exponents. Make sure the first number you move it to 1 decimal 1 digit number, so 6.8, and then like show me your arrow is like going to this direction. The second one, because it's a tiny number, I know it's going to be a negative exponent. Again, I need to move the decimal point to make it a 1-digit number, so 4.12, and then it's moving to this direction. So this is a negative 4 for exponents. Okay, you don't have to check it on the test like if you don't have enough time. All right. The next one is changing from scientific notation back to regular number. So it's a negative exponent, so it's going to be a small decimal number, right? So move it to make it like a small decimal number and 4 decimal places. And this one is to the 5th power positive, so you're going to make this a bigger number, move 5 decimal places. All right. Okay, so the next one is found a decimal number between these two, so you can add decimal places at the end and then find a number between them. And then we have the fraction one, so first change this to a fractions. This is to the 10, 100,000 place. So you can make the denominator bigger by multiply both top and bottom by 10, and then there would be room for you to find a number between them. If this is a fraction that you can reduce, you want to reduce them. All right. Number 7, so this you will need to know how in words and how in steps. For multiplication, you don't have to line up the decimal places, but you ignore the decimal number and then you multiply they are as if they were whole number. You want to count how many decimal places they have. This has 3, so toward the end you will move, this has 4, this is point, I was having some issue here. So this was 6 and 0 and 0 here. So you have 4 decimal places, so at the end you need to move 4 decimal places for the answer also. And y in words, you change them to fractions and then change them to improper fractions, and then top times top, bottom times bottom. When you get to this point, you want to move both top and bottom so the bottom become 1 as denominator, and that would be your answer. Alright, pause the video anytime if you need to double check your answer. The next one, again, we do multiplication. Make sure you show all the steps, not just use your calculator to do it, okay? And then the dividing part, same step that we just did. And the very final one is going to be division. So division, you're moving both dividend and divisor, and we want the divisor to be a whole number. Some of you didn't do the division correctly, so make sure you know how to do it, because nowadays a lot of people depend on the calculator, so make sure you can show the step. I will look at your steps. So that's the first one, 5.07. When you do y parts, you want to change them to fractions and then change them to improper fraction and get them to have the LCD 1000 here. Then you can divide straight across and denominator is 1, so you get your final answer is 5.07. Okay. Alright, very last question for this also division. Make sure you did your step correctly. Again, I want my divisor to be whole number, so I need to move 2 decimal places here and do 2 here, and then I carry my decimal point up here and do all the steps. The answer is 3.75, and then the y part is pretty much the same step that we did earlier. Alright?